Essendon finished 8th. What felt like they shouldn't have been there, but no one else wanted to. No one else wanted to be there, so they took the bullet.
I remember talking about that last year, actually.
Like, oh yeah, no, like that was the best bit about the year, just watching teams trip over themselves to not make a final. But yeah, no. So for a while there, in the middle of the year, late year, they looked like they got a lot of momentum on their side, and then they went up against Port, lost by 70 points, and then got obliterated by the Dogs the week after, and then just crawled into the finals with a 12-10 record and 98%.
That's the kind of imagine not even being the lowest scoring team, where the lowest scoring team from that weekend only scored 7 points in North Melbourne, and still being the worst team of the weekend.
That's the kind of loss that sticks with you for like 5 more years, let alone 1.
21 goals in a row scored against them.
Yeah, because I think Essendon kicked the first 2 of the game. And then it was just Jack McRae just monstered them. But anyway, so
you got pointed out, like they scored. There was 108 minutes where the Bombers didn't kick a goal, and I was like, you could watch like the Thing in that time, and it would be way better and more interesting.
Oh yeah, what's the score? Well,
the same as when we turned on the Thing.
That escalated quickly.
Yeah, and also it would have been like less painful to watch for Bombers fans.
Yeah.
Anywho, so their ins are kind of not inspiring. Like you got Andrew Phillips, Tom Cutler, and from the draft, Harrison Jones, Nick Bryan, Ned Cahill, Lachlan Johnson, and Mitchell Hibbard. Out goes Zach Clark, David Myers, Mark Bagley, Matt D, and Mitch Brown and Michael Hartley.
That's a real note there, really.
The man we killed the most in footy rivals. Parties, Mitch Brown.
Yeah.
He was well hated by us.
Deservedly so.
Oh, he was bad. Yeah. So,
yeah. Well, he's in the football afterlife. You can't taunt him no more.
No, he's still around. We'll get to his team. He's still around.
Oh, okay. No, go right ahead. I thought it was bad to speak ill of the dead.
No, he's still around.
Okay.
But sorry, continue with your assessment of the Essendon Football Club.
All right. So where do I think they'll finish this year? I don't know. Like, I put 8th to 10th, but I'm like, not really. I just think the biggest issue they have is coaching. Like, they've got, in theory, they've got the talent there, like Devon Smith and Dylan Shield, and like other good pieces like Adam Sarden, whatever.
Do they have the talent there on the list?
They are ridiculously deceptive when it comes to saying they have the talent, because it's fair enough to point out the players that they have.
On paper, they have the talent.
So overrated.
Yeah.
Like, for me, at least,
they have no functioning forward line.
No, not without Joe Danaher, and he's not going to be playing for some time. And even then, that was a farce of an off-season move by all clubs involved. So, I'm with you a bit on this, Ryan, because I don't think that, like, I think when we talk about Essendon, we say, oh, Dylan Shield, oh, Dyson Apple, oh my God, Zach Merritt, oh my God, look at these guys. You can stack them up against any other midfield in the comp, and it still looks awfully similar.
Yeah, and I don't think they work. I don't think they gel together very well. Like, their team chemistry, Essendon's team, like, they have some good names on the paper, but their chemistry on the field is shocking.
Do you think that flips back to Joel's point about coaching a bit, though? Or is that just a matter of the talent doesn't work together?
No, I think any talent can work together, and even people that may not necessarily see eye to eye can still come on game day and play well together. It probably is a coaching thing. It's as much a coaching thing as it is a relationships thing and a trust thing on the field. You got to be able to trust your teammates to be able to hit the target, to be able to lead into the space, to be able to go in hard at the ball. And I don't feel like over the last few years that Essendon have had that trust.
And they've been bereft of consistency for years now.
So. Yeah, and I think they've probably had the worst fitness in terms of competition with regards to they'll start the season off well and they won't finish it off well at all. I don't think they've conditioned themselves to get through 23 games a year.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. Joel, what's your expectations, sort of pass mark, where you think Essendon will land this year?
Oh, I don't know. Just thinking about it, I don't know. Like remembering those two games where they absolutely ate shit again back to back weeks. I don't know. Like I think that I think at the very best they might sneak into 8 and then get demolished again, but at the very worst, middling futility to basement dweller, which again, what I put here is like I know they've put a plan in place for Worsfold to be replaced by Ben Rutten, but it feels like just keeping Worsfold on for another year, where it definitely seems like there were games that they were very good, but other times they got blown out of the water. It was just like it's not worth keeping him around and then just for another season and then just punting it away.
I actually hate the move.
Succession plans are always interesting.
What I would like, so how I feel that Essendon should approach this is have on game day Ben Rutten. So pretty much with everything to do with the team on game day, training sessions throughout the week, Ben Rutten is the man. So internally, Ben Rutten is the head coach. But externally, Worsfold bears all the pressure so that Rutten doesn't have to. Right? And you get the best of both worlds. Because Worsfold he's been in the game long enough that, and if he knows that it's not actually his problems and stuff like that, he's not going to care in the media. He's not going to rise up to the challenges like what Malthouse does and stuff. You know?
So well.
I think it's the best of both worlds to introduce what is, like, Ben Rutten is, he's only just out of the game, really, when you actually go back and think about it.
Was he at Essendon prior to this year? Has he been in the
No, last year was his first year at Essendon.
At Essendon, okay. So that's not too
he's
much.
He's been at Essendon 1 year. I think, when did he retire?
15? 2014, because it was the last year of Brenton Sanderson.
14, right? So he's only been out of the game for 5 years.
Yeah,
and he was at Richmond beforehand.
Elevated to a head coach. So I'm very interested to see whether that's too soon.
Yeah.
Well, he was
every instance that it's happened. James Hird, Michael Voss, Buckley. Even though Bucks is still there, he was shocking for a long time. Like all these coaches that have been pretty much untried and fresh out of the game have been busts. So I'm very interested to see whether this different kind of introduction to Rutten will change things up for him.
Most clubs,
to be fair,
realize when you bring a coach in directly out of the game, it's not great too. Like a lot of more clubs are opting for a coach that has done a thorough apprenticeship under good coaches. So yeah, it is going to be quite interesting. I kind of agree with you, Joel, that the best way to sum up expectations for Essendon is just I don't know. They were the hardest club that I found to predict, but I've got them finishing. I think I had them finishing 11th because someone's going to drop out of the finals. Yeah. Usually one or two teams do.
Yeah.
And it's going to be Essendon.
It's definitely going to be Essendon. Yeah.
If it's going to be anyone, it's going to be Essendon. So I'm going to say that they drop to 11th and they finish the year there.
I've got Essendon on both of my ladders finishing at 16th.
Yeah, that's probably fair too. Like you can throw them anywhere and just make an argument for it.
I don't like their game plan. Their game plan is go fast, go fast, go fast. Which, don't get me wrong, is super exciting to watch when it works. But the way that teams set up defensively these days, like in the mid-2000s, that kind of game plan would work most weeks. You only have to think of Geelong, West Coast, of those mid-2000s teams to be able to get a gauge on how well that game plan kind of works. But in this day and age, the way that teams set up defensively and everything, unless you are really, really good at navigating the contest with hands, that fast-paced game style is your worst enemy. And don't get me wrong, they'll win some games, but that game plan is not made to win finals. And if your game plan is not designed to win finals, then what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you in here for? Yeah.
You're just making up the numbers then.
Yep. I could get on board with that prediction.
Yeah.
Totally could get on board with it.